Hi everyone, welcome to the final part of this Excel dashboard. So here is the part 4 of this dashboard. So if you've not watched the first, second and the third part of this dashboard, please go ahead and take a look at that. There you will definitely understand what we're trying to do. In this part, we're trying to look at how to create this right here, where we can actually show up and actually hide some information on our dashboard. So you can actually use this particular technique to do any part of your dashboard. You want to actually have something very important displayed whatsoever. Now you toggle, it gets itself hidden, you toggle and it actually pops back up out of that. So now, are you ready to start creating now from the scratch? Let's just go and actually put the other part of the workbook we are trying to use for this particular work right here. So now I'm going to actually click on this particular YouTube lesson right here, and here we're going to have it. It's taking a little while. Okay, we have this little error right here. I'm going to tell you what the error is all about, because we have another workbook that we fetched data from. That was why we have this. So just click on update and click on continue and you have it. So right now we don't have anything right here to just help us with that toggle, so we're about to just create it for the first time. So what you need to do now is just to make sure you have this duplicated. Control D will duplicate it for you, and Control 1 will help you to bring this particular shape format whatsoever right up here. And once you have it right in here, what you can do right now is just to make sure you remove it from gradient fill down to solid fill. And once you put it on solid fill, this is what you have. And right now I'm just going to choose this particular color right here. This is the color I want to have for it. Okay, now we are done with this. We have to give it some kind of text, so we don't want to go ahead and do every single thing from the scratch over and over again. All I'm just going to do right now is just to make sure I show you an illustration and what it is that I've just gotten done to have this achieved. I'm just going to copy this right here, copy, and once we have it copied, we can go back down to this particular new creation and have it pasted in here. And if I just say go ahead and actually paste this right now, look at what's going to happen. I just pasted it, and now this is what it is. So it can't be pasted inside, it's just going to paste itself outside of it. So instead, click right on it, and once you have just done the clicking, what you can do right now is just to make sure you type a single letter, and it's gonna like, oh, you have typed the letter in, so we have to make continuation of whatever comes in right now. I'm gonna Control V, and now I have it pasted and it stays. I can go ahead and have what I have my letter being removed away from here. That is the one of the beautiful thing you can actually do. So right now we are done with this, and the next we're gonna do right now is just to make sure we centralize the letters we have right in there. So we just make sure we put it on a very nice margin, so we have something like this beautifully. So this is one among lots. So we've just done this. Now let us go to the next level. Okay, to those of you who are very curious on what color I've used, how can I go ahead and use this same color for my dashboard, let me take you to where you can get a color. So if you have it downloaded to your personal computer, so what you need to do is to just grab the color from here and actually copy the color code we have right here. We've actually used this color code right on the dashboard. So just look at the color codes we have right here, and you can go beneath this particular video comment section, description section rather, and you have a particular link to go to the website where I used to get my colors from. So it helps you to mix your color the way it should be, or rather I might make a tutorial to help you guys with how to get these colors. So let's go back to the main tutorial. Okay, here we go again. So we go back to the sheet we are actually using, that is workbooks though. So right now we have this here already. So now that we have this here, we might want to actually go ahead and actually make sure we zoom close to the screen to see what we're doing. So now if you can see, we have something right here, round stuff right there. I'm gonna go and bring the round shape right up. So go Control Illustration. So right now we go to shapes, and now we click on this, and we can come down right here. So if I just decide to actually drag, now you can see how it's going up and down. I might not get a perfect circle right as I really wanted it. So what can I do? I'm gonna go back and do something different. Now click it right here, and now holding a shift key, and once you actually drag, it's just going to give a perfect circle. This is exactly what you will get, and this is what I really wanted to have, and I've just got it. And now I need to change the color to something very interesting. I'm gonna go right and choose the color I really wanted for it. I need the same color and all that, and I don't want the outline. I'm gonna have to remove the outline from it. And now we just have to make sure that we have it a little transparency right on it a little bit. And now here we go, we have something like this. I can now go ahead and duplicate this. Now once I have it duplicated, I'm going to change the color of the duplicate I just have right now. I have it on this color for a reason, just for some time, not quietly gonna be every single time I'm gonna have it in that color. I'm gonna take the color off in a jiffy. You'll see why I'm doing that. So all that, so Okay, let's see what we can do next. So if you look at what we have in the previous one now, if I go right here, you can see we have this particular toggle up and down and stuff like that. And if I click anywhere outside this particular arrow we have right here now, if I click right here, we still have some kind of effect over what we really want. I'm just going to take it very slow. Follow me slowly. You will definitely get everything we have done right here. But sometimes I'm going to say, like, I'm so sorry, I might not really some kind of amaze. I want to give it the background color. That will be better. So go Ctrl+1 and I'm going to go ahead and change it to this particular color for the background, so now it stands out, so that if it comes up right on this particular aspect, we can differentiate what we have right here. So now we're about to get to hit that particular aspect I really wanted. So click right here and go for the shape you really want to use. I'm going to use this kind of shape right on it. So well, let's see where we're going to drop the shape. I'm going to drop the shape right in here. Just hit on shift and make sure you drag the shape and you have something like this nicely. Ctrl+1 will help me to format my shape the way I really wanted it. I'm going to go on white, and from white, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to remove what the outline from it, and I have something like this. Beautiful. I'm not some kind of quietly amazed with what I have right here. I just have to make sure I turn the shape to what I really wanted. So I'm just going to move the shape to the top level right here, and whatever I apply on it, I want to be seeing what I'm applying right on it. So now I'm going to go to rotation. I want to have the shape rotate in 90 degree, and that is exactly what it is. So now I can control and move this. I have a duplicate of it now, and go ahead and rotate it once again vertically. That is exactly what it is. So we just go get this done. So what we can do right now is just to come right here. I'm gonna move this down for now. I'm gonna move it down. I'm gonna have to duplicate this as well. For the purpose, we have duplicated. So now we want to actually make sure everything's gonna be on top of it. I'm gonna say, okay, now what we need to do, I'm gonna say bring to front. So that is exactly what it is. So now we have brought everything to front. So let's see what we can do right now. I'm going to place this one right on this particular aspect right here. Make sure it's being in the middle of it. So now we don't have to guess it. So you can actually go ahead and actually make sure you go to the top level and make sure you centralize every single thing, so that we shouldn't guess it. We should have a perfect one. We should have that in the middle. We should have something perfect. So now I can go ahead and have it grouped. That's a group, and now we have it grouped, and the same thing I've done is what I'm going to do to this as well. Let's see how we can do that fastly. Okay, in a speedy way, we have just done the same thing for this and this as well. So now what we can do right now is just to make sure I go ahead and actually double click right here. What I have highlighted now is the color we have right in there, which is circle. We just highlighted the circle. Now don't go and say, oh sorry for that, Ctrl+Z will help us to bring it back. So click on this is what I want to move. I have to click on it, and now I have to make sure I double click on this. So now it's been selected, so now you can see the color right here. So instead of we to actually use particular no fill, if we say no fill, it's gonna have a different effect on what we really wanted to do. But right now I want to put the transparency into 100% and all of that. So do the same thing to this as well. Once the color appears right here, put the transparency into 100%, and we can have this closed for now temporarily. We are going to have it closed. So with the next thing we're gonna be doing now, we have something right here called about, that actually displays about, which shows that this is about a dashboard. You can read right through it. So to get about right now, I'm going to come right here and have this duplicated. I'm going to move it all the way down to this particular level. Ctrl+1 will help me to change the color to the kind of color I really wanted. I'm going to pick this color right here. I love this color. After having this color right here, I'm just going to make sure I have it on a very proper circle. I'm going to make it smaller and have it some kind of a little bit smaller. And now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to type in here about. So about is right on it. So let's see what the next step we're going to take. So here we have to make sure we centralize every single thing, and we change it from the area blacks, and we can crank it up a little bit. And when we go back right now, this is what we have. If you're not really amazed with what we have, we can still give it a little bit crank and up there. So now we have something like this. We can make it a little bit smaller. Now usually can go ahead and make it as small as this and all that. So now we can actually make sure we have this right here, but we want to make sure that this is actually stand out from the background and all of that. So let's make sure it goes this way. So what we need to do right now is Ctrl+1 again will help us to actually add an effect right on it. So let's see what kind of effect. I'm going to go right here and click right here and see this particular effect, how it's going to actually look right on it. So now beautiful, it makes it some kind of standout from what we have right on the background. Just always know that formatting your shape properly will definitely make you to have a very nice looking dashboard. So we have just gotten this. Let's see the next step to take. The next step to take right now, come to the top level right here and go to this particular search aspect. What you need to search for is this particular selection pan right here. Is it pen or pan? our selection pane right here. Click on the selection pane. You will now have a pop-up. See the pop-up you have right here. So go back right here and make sure you can have every single shape we have right here being visible. Now we have every single shape we have right here visible. Okay, now that we have all of them, so I want to name this to be some kind of up. So let us locate where we have it. So just look at what I'm doing so that you know how to follow up as you're creating your own from the scratch. Make sure you have it downloaded to your system and follow along step by step. So now up, that's exactly what I'm going to do. That is up. So here's going to be down. Double click on it and go right here and hit on down. Okay, fine. Now we just have to name this. This is the major part of this particular work we are doing. So we just want to name this particular one some kind of info underscore panel. So info panel. So that is exactly what it is. So now we're going to name this one about. So go locate where it is and now rename it about. Control A. We just want to name this so what about. So we have just named all this to what we really wanted. So this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Now, how can we put this to use to make sure it gives us the kind of animation or the kind of toggle up and down that we really wanted? So now that we've gotten every single part of this particular dashboard, toggles, whatsoever, we can now move this down for this time around. We can move it down to stay right here so we can see it well. So now, what is its first thing to do? The first thing to do right now is just to head back to what? We want to head back to this particular aspect right here, which is developer. And once we click on developer, we're about to write a little code to have whatever we really wanted done. And the sheet we're going to be using right now, this is the previous sheet we are using. This is the one we have completed. So right now, let us see. We have YouTube lesson. For the YouTube lesson, we can click on the dashboard. And where is this dashboard? So if I go back right now, have it closed and go on the full screen for you, now you have this dashboard right here. It's actually sheet 1. The dashboard is sheet 1. So going back to what? Going back to the this part right here, we have the dashboard to carry sheet 1 right here so that we can know what to do and how we can actually define what we're about to get into. Now we are right on the dashboard sheet. If you do not do this on the dashboard sheet, you're going to have a little problem. So for you to have any of the problems, so make sure you have it on dashboard sheet. So right now, let us get to work. The first we're going to do right now is to define to define a particular territory for our shape. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to say sub, and what sub is going to do, give it a little space and all that. So what sub is going to do, I'm going to say sub up. Sub up, that means this is what is going to get my shape up of that. So now next I'm going to do right now is going to say, okay, inside this sub up, what condition do I want to have inside it? I'm going to say sheet 1.shape. I will explain to you what it is. So what we are trying to communicate right here is that in this particular dashboard sheet, we call it sheet 1. That is the first sheet we have entered, and we want any of this particular code right here to have effect on that particular dashboard sheet. So now we've just called it. So we want to say, okay, inside this particular sheet, we have some shape existing called what? Maybe we can't remember what the name of the shape is all about, so we can actually go ahead and take a look at what it is. So going back right here right now, we want to actually go ahead and copy the same name we have for it so that we shouldn't have error in any of our work, right? You understand? So now this is info panel. We can copy the info panel from here. So this will give us some kind of very nice understanding of what we're trying to get into. So now here we are and have it pasted right in here. So we close the word, the quotation, the double quotation mark, and we close our brackets. Now we can say dot visible. So we want to set the visibility to be some kind of what? Dot visible. So set the visibility to be some kind of true. When we put on equal to, just hit on your tab and it sets it up for you. This is the first thing we are going to do. We've just gotten it right. So right now, every single time we have it visible, we want a particular type of what? Of toggle shape to be some kind of visible and the other part to be some kind of hidden. So let us start see what we're gonna do next. So I'm gonna have it copied and have it some kind of pasted. Go 3 times. I think 4 times or 3 times, yeah, really. So right now this is gonna be controlling what? This is gonna be controlling up. This will control down, and this will control what? This will definitely control about. So we have all those shapes existing, right? So now for the up, when we are up, we want up shape to be some kind of invisible right now. Invisible. And what is going to happen? So it's going to be some kind of give us false. So now we want the down shape to be visible, and as well we want what? We want this particular about shape right here to be as well visible, and that is exactly what we need to do to get it done. So I'm just going to copy this right here, copy it, and have it pasted again. So we have it pasted down right here. So what we need to do right now, we want to set this one to be some kind of visible. Now visible, the visibility is going to be set true. Now don't worry, just click on OK. We can now solve the problem by copying this one right here, copy here, and make it some kind of true. And right now what we need to make false is now the down one is going to be some kind of false. So we copy the false we have in right here, we copy it, and we go right down to this particular aspect. We have this one to be some kind of false. Don't worry, if you do not understand what is going on right here right now, you will surely understand it when we are right on it and test it out to see what it is that we have just got done. So right now I want to actually make sure I have this one to be some kind of down. So down, so this is exactly what it is. So now can we go ahead and test it out and see what it is that we've just done to see if we have any errors. So I'm just going to go right here and say okay, fine. So we are right back right on this particular aspect. So for now I'm going to have to get this one shut down, and here we have to click on this. So now if we click on it, it highlights immediately because we have nothing right on it. So now to bring this particular panel that has our information right on it up, so we just have to assign that macro we've written. So assign macro right here. When we click on it, we can see this one is going to be up, so we have just given it up because this one is giving us a arrow up. And click on this as well and go right and say assign macro, and we assign it down macro right on it. I believe you know what we are trying to assign right now. So now clicking on this right now will definitely make it some kind of hidden. All of that, can you see now? It's working so well for us, but something is really missing now that we've not just got corrected. So now it's working merely the way we wanted it. So let us go and fix what is just going on right now. So when we go back down right here, go back to the top level right there, go back to what? Go back to the Visual Basics. And now when we come right here, we should set this one to false and set the about as well to false. So now we have not done all that. So copy this and actually make sure you have this set to false. Or we are still setting to true. Copy this false from here, set the about to false, and set this to false as well. And the only thing that is true right here is actually the up one that is actually true right now. Let us go and test it out and see if this is really working the way we wanted it. And going back right here now, we can see we toggle through it, and it should work well for us. So now it's working well. It has it hidden, and now we'll click. Now is no, can you see that? So it's working the way it should be. But one thing is what is missing right now. What is that thing that is missing? Is actually the animation we have right on the other part of it. On the finished dashboard, if I click on it, you can see how it comes up. Can you see? Stylishly it comes up in an animation form and all of that. So we want to actually have this particular effect right on this present one we are building. Let us see how we can actually add it up. Right here, I'm going to be placing a code in here. I've just pasted a new code right now. So this code, I'm going to have it on in the comment section for you to actually go ahead, or as well I'm going to have it in the description box. So go ahead and copy it and paste it in your own work and see how we can actually do a lot with this particular code right here. So what I'm going to do right now, this code is going to be written under the what? Under the show, not under the hidden, because when animated once it shows up. But if it's going down, we don't want any animation for it. But if you feel like you want to do that, you can actually go ahead and do that. I have some tutorials that covers a lot about this animation aspect in most of my tutorials. Let us see what we can do. So right now, to have that written, what we can do right now is just for we to define the same shape again. I'm going to do that over again. I'm going to say sheet right here dot shape, sheet one dot shape. So that shapes. So we have open bracket, and now we need to paste this particular one right in here. Don't worry, say okay to it, just copy it, make sure it's something the same. So paste it in and have it closed. And now instead of we to set the visibility, we are now setting the position. Now the position should actually be up position, top, sorry. So top position, you have to remember this top. And once I have it copied, what am I going to do with it? Let's see what I'm going to do with this particular one I have copied. I'm going to go all the way to the top level right here, hit on this particular view and go to what? Go to immediate window and have immediate window up. So right now we have immediate window up. This is the previous work I've done. I'm going to clear it away from here. So what you need to have right here, go on the question mark, have the question mark right there. What you just have copied right now, paste it in right here. And before we go ahead and do any stupid thing, let me just go back and actually make sure I minimize and show you what it is that you have to do. So first of all, we want to have this go down and come all the way from down. Ctrl Z, click on it again, and now we can see if it goes, it's going at the top of this, so we want to see, make sure it goes behind it. Right click on it and go to what, go to send to back right here, and once send to back is activated, just go say send to back, and now we have it at the back of this, right? So what can we do? Okay, instead of we to have it at the back of that, don't let us do that, else it's going to go at the back of this as well, or it's going to go behind this. So just click on this particular one right here. Instead of that, we're doing that, right, is just for we to make sure we say, okay, now what thing we need to do is just to make sure we get, we're going to say bring to what, bring to front. So now bring to front, now we bring this to front, and now we have done something like this. What we can do now, I'm going to say hold on this. Okay, I think we've just made some Ctrl Z, we have to bring it back. So to do that right now, what I'm gonna do is just to say, okay, now we have to click on this. We should be on the right sheet for this, we're on the completed part of it. So now we've just missed the, we have to send this down to the back of this right here. And what we can do right now is just very easy for us. So I'm gonna control right click on it, so go say send to back, and once we have just go on this send to back right here, we just send it to back, and now we have sent it to back, and this is what it is. So it's gonna go down and all of that. So, but we don't want to go behind this particular one at the top, so we want to be on the top of this one. So once we Ctrl Z, now we can do the main thing we have to do. So now instead of that, I'm gonna click on this and have this clicked and have this clicked, and I'm just gonna say, okay, bring this one to front instead. So we say bring to front. Once I click on bring to front right now, and go right on this one and take this one all the way down, you can see it's disappearing behind this and it's coming up and all of that. So what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure it's gonna be behind this, so now it disappears, everything disappears. I'm gonna make sure it's situating right inside here, all of that. If we have it set the way we would have wanted it, so right now we can go ahead and check what is the level, what is the position of what we've just done. So we go ahead and actually make sure we say hit it right now. So I'm just going to copy this from here and come right to this particular aspect. I'm going to hit on my equal to and have it pasted, and that is exactly what I've just gotten. So right now we need to set a timing, and the timing is going to be set based on what we have right here. So set a timing how you want it to go, and I'm going to click right here and have this one pasted in here and in open bracket, and now the pause time as double is going to be from 0.03 seconds. That's exactly what we really wanted. So now we have it closed and all of that. So the next thing we're going to do right now is just to make sure, okay, fine, we just got into this position, so we want it to move, and we go back right on it. So we just have to click on it and have it move up a little bit. And once we move it up a little bit, so we want to just go and check the position of the movement we've just actually made right now. Go back right here and go ahead and actually check what is the position of the new movement we just made, and now you can see the position just got changed to something else, which is 417.475 or 417.75 right here. So before we do that, I'm just gonna go ahead and actually have this one copied. I'm gonna have to paste this right here, paste it once again. I'm gonna paste it once again. So this is what it is. So we have just got it pasted. So now this one right here is gonna go right on the second one. So we have to make sure we have twice movement again, so for we to get it right. So I'm gonna go ahead again and come right down. We have to move it. So just understand that we're going to be moving it once again now. And after I might have done that, I'll just go back on the Visual Basic Expert again and actually go ahead and check the new position we have. So this is the new position. So we have to move it once again to have the movement being completed based on what we have defined right in here. This is beautiful, right? So go back on it and actually minimize this, and now for the final time we want to actually make sure everything is out. Boom. Just make sure we move it out a little bit. Okay, now we have it moved out and we can set it up, all of that. So now when we go back again, what are we gonna have? We have a new movement and we're gonna have new codes being popped out for us. So now this is what we have, Ctrl C, and now we can now have it right here, and that is final. It's exactly what we really wanted. So we should have something very beautiful by this time. So I can actually go ahead and close this particular immediate window right here. So we've just gotten this and we are cool with what we have. So blessing to this particular code we have at the top right here. Don't worry, I'm gonna have this code actually pasted in the description box for you. Copy it and have it pasted and go ahead and work with it. So right here I'm gonna have it closed, and let's see what we have and see what it can do out there. So now if I click on this, can you see how it comes out? This is what it is that we're trying to achieve. This is exactly what we have just done in the previous one, and very beautiful. Now we need to actually bring this particular one right to the top right here. So go ahead and actually click right in here, go to tell me what, and go right here to the selection pane, and we have to go down to this particular one and actually make sure we activated every single thing we have hidden. We have it all activated, so we can come back right and have it closed and go down right here and make sure you hold your control, else it's gonna actually get itself some kind of hidden again. Hold your control and you have this plus sign, click on it, the same thing, click on it. I'm gonna go to the top level right here. I'm gonna go to format, and from format, what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna go to align. I'm going to align center, and I'm going to align middle right here, and that is exactly what I need to do. So once I've done that, just make sure I have this cross. I have to move this right, so move it, and now it's going behind this. What I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure I click on it and says bring to front. So I'm gonna bring it to front. Now it's at the front of it, so we can now move it, and now it's here at the front of this. So beautiful. We have just gotten something like this, similar to what we have just seen in the previous one we had done that we are actually replicating. So if I go ahead and click on it right now, you can see it's down, it's showing up. To click that, it's going to bring it up, and you can see, can you see what I'm trying to say? This is beautiful. We have just done this, guys. This is one of the best Excel I really love to play around with and see what it is that can come out as a result. So we've just gotten this result right now, and this is very, very much interesting. So can we now focus on the remaining part of this dashboard right now to create what we have right here? Is very fun, man. So I love it. So let's go ahead and do what we have in right here to see how our analysis is going to go through. So if you have been following up to before now, your comment is very important to me. Go ahead and leave a comment and give it a like, and actually share this particular video to your friends and family and your co-workers in the office. I know they're gonna enjoy it a lot. Okay, in this next part, this is what we're trying to achieve. In this part right here, you can see we have a lot of information right here which we cannot read through, but when we click on any of this filter right now, we see the information some kind of narrowed down to what we can read. So, and not only that, so every single time we play the filter, we have top day right here to show you what the top day is all about without you having to some kind of scan through all this. You can see what the top day is all about. So clicking on this right now is going to make sure this get filtered and give you the top days and all of that. Now if I click on any of this here, you see we have more information breakdown for us. The weekdays right now, can you see how the information is some kind of narrowed down to what we really want, and the top days just get changed and all of that. And we can actually switch from here to any of this, and all of that is going to be awesome right on our dashboard. So if you have been watching most of my tutorials, you will definitely know how to do every single thing we have right here. We might not cover everything, but I'm going to show you and give you a head up on what it is that you need to do. Let's just go ahead and actually have to create what we have right here on the right workbook. So here we go on the right workbook. We just have to click right here, and here we are. So we just have to go ahead and go with this. Okay, here we go. So we just have to copy the previous, I can go with the previous one we have right here. I can copy this and actually have it reuse again. I'm going to copy it and go right here. So I'm going to have it pasted in here right now. So make sure I have it pasted, and after that I'm going to actually have to activate this field list, and here we have it. So we are right on the field list right here. So what we can do right now is just to make sure we deactivate whatever we don't really need. So we don't need the city right in here, and what we need right now is just the date of the transaction. So I'm going to put the purchase date right down here, and here we have the purchase date. And what I really wanted is not actually the year but the month, I presume. I'm going to move the year and the quarter away. I'm gonna move the month away, and just the date is what is enough for me right now. So I have this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna have this one closed to here, all of that. So let's see what we can do for the first time. So I had to actually have okay, I think it's actually correct right now. It's right on it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just to make sure I insert a chart right on it, and actually make sure I format a chart and get what I really wanted from it. So right here we go right with this, and here's the kind of chart we want to actually have inserted, but it might look some kind of too bulky, a lot of information and stuff like that. So right now I'm just going to right click on it and say, okay, hide this now away from me. I don't want to see that. So go ahead and actually have this away and all that. So for the total, I don't want to see total because I'm going to have my own custom name right there. So we just have to move this to our dashboard right now. I'm going to Control X to have it cut. So now here we are on our dashboard environment. So what we can do right now, I'm going to have what I just copied right here as I have it pasted in here, but it's going to look some kind of ugly right here because we can't read anything from here. But do not worry, we just have to make sure this is sitting right at this particular part right here, and we go right and actually make sure we make it go this way and have it situated right now. So now this is beautiful. If we go ahead and actually make sure we select any filter, it should not be in an issue. So we have this right on it, and the month is not actually activated right on it. So we can go ahead and actually activate the month and see what it is that we have to do. Go back, click on it, and go to the analysis, go to analyze, go to filter, and here we have the filter for the month. We have to place the filter of the month right, and so this is how many transactions we have on the month being selected. So if we go right now, what month is being selected is February, and now we have just checked it right there. So if this is the fourth time, just know that we have a single place to clear our filter. So learn that on our first second tutorial whatsoever, and the whole tutorial is very important for you to take a look at, because you're going to learn a lot about what we're doing. So now I'm just going to double click on it. Once I have a double click done, I'm just going to say no fill, and I'm going to come right here. I'm going to say no border or no outline right on it. So I have this, and I want to clear this particular grid line off it. I don't want any grid line, so I just want to go say no grid line right on it. So I have cleared all the grid lines right away from here. So I can go ahead and actually make sure I give this a very nice color. It's going to actually pop out to make sure we read what is right there. So I'm going to go for something like this, will be cool, so we can read this right now. All that. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing to this if we really want to use, but I don't think it's some kind of important. I'm going to have it removed so we have this information displayed this way. So this is not all. We're not done from here, so we have something to actually add to make it some kind of garnishing. So what it is, we just have to go back to our analysis pad right here and search what is the top month. And how do we do that? We have to determine this with formula. So before we go ahead and create the logic behind this, so what we ought to have visualized is actually not the revenue but the profit. I'm just going to remove this away from here and have the profit right in here, so it doesn't really concern any of our visualization in the previous one. So now we have to get the top we have to get the top profit. So how do we do that? With large we can actually get that. So I'm going to put my large in here, and I'm going to actually control shift and the down arrow will just help me to do that. Once I actually have my comma, so now I need to actually specify what large do I really want, like the first large, like yes. Now I'm gonna have my 140K right there, so have it closed and I enter, and here we go, we have the large right on it. So when we go back right now, you can see we have a filter already right on it. That was why we have this as the large. So going back here, this is what we have. So now we want to see what date is actually the large is from. So we have to use the formula to get this done. So what formula can we use? What about index and match? So let us have index and match mixed together to get this done. So I'm going to type in my month here, month or date. So I can actually say date. So the date, that is, we have the highest profit. So right now to get that, we want to have to use index. So I'm going to type in index right here, and what is index, what this index is looking for is the array, which is what we want. Where is it sitting? Actually, I'm going to say Control Shift and the down arrow will help us with that. So once we have just done that, what we need to do right now is just to make sure we what. So match is asking for the lookup, and the lookup is going to be this. So once we have gotten the lookup just like this, so we just need to apply the array, right? So for the array, for the lookup array, we just have to come, this is where it is. So I'm just gonna go there, and here we have comma right on it, and we have to go back and go all the way, scroll back, and now we need to actually look for what match do we really want. So we need the exact match. For the exact match we need 0, and now we can actually say okay, fine, we can have it closed. So exact match, have it closed, and let's see what it is if we have this entered. Now we can now hit enter and have this committed. So now we have 15 February is when we have the top value. So right now if we go back to what, if we go back to the dashboard and clear the filter, let's see what we're gonna have. So I told you we can clear our filter from one single button right here. So clearing the filter, just go for we to click on clear, and we see how the whole filter just get cleared. Now we don't have filter placed in it, so we can definitely go back to what, go back to our analysis right here and see what we have. We have 16th of January. That is exactly what it is. This is what you're trying to do, but right now we have to do what we call concatenation to get this done right on our visualization. So we need to get what we're going to visualize right there. So I'm going to type in quotation mark and put in my profit right here. So close the quotation mark, and actually before that give a space and have the quotation mark being closed. And now we want to concatenate with this ampersand right here. So we want to concatenate this right with it. So if I hit enter right now, this is what it gives us. Even though if we go ahead and apply what, Control Shift and the dollar sign right here, there is no way we can get what, we can get it to be some kind of applied to this particular one right here. So what can we do to have it applied? So what I can do right now is just to make sure we have what we call text formula right on it. So what I need to do right now, I'm just going to double double click on this. Once I have it double clicked, what I can do right now is just to come right here and type in text, and after that I'm gonna hit my tab key, and it has open bracket for me. I'm gonna shift down to this particular end and put on my comma, and now the format in text is gonna be like, okay, now open double quotation and 0. Okay, before 0 I think we're gonna have a $0.00 and close it, and have this one closed as well. Hit enter. Right now we're gonna have this particular one right here. So I think we are actually missing something, which we have dot is gonna be comma. So we have our comma right here. Hit enter. Now we have it as formatted as what we have like this. So this is beautiful. This can actually go ahead to go to our visualization part. So back to the dashboard environment right here. So here we are going to go and put in what we have right here. So I'm just gonna have to copy this away from here. We're gonna be needing this right now. I'm gonna have it copied. I'm gonna come right here and have it pasted somewhere around here. So I have it pasted here right now. So I'm just gonna move it a little bit while we have it dropped here. And now we just have to go ahead and get something like, we just have to get it, have it duplicated, and I'm gonna move it down to the top level here. I'm gonna have this one away from here. I'm gonna say top day. So top day is right here. So I have my top day right here, and I have to format my top day the way I really wanted it. So I can actually go ahead and have it highlighted. So sorry for that. So we'll go right to the top level and just make sure we format it to what we really wanted. I'm gonna pump it up a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and use something like this. I think I'm gonna be cool with something like that. So now we have the top day, even though if it doesn't pop so well, we can decide to put it on white. Depends on what you really want and the kind of color is gonna be some kind of pop there out of that. So we have something like this. So we can actually go ahead and have it duplicated, and we have to visualize our top day right here. Every single time we'll make some kind of, or click on the filter, we have the top day and we have the revenue that is peculiar to the top day right here. So let's just look at how we can actually get this right there. So what we need to do is just to make sure we actually go ahead and actually put on the formula bar, and the formula bar is on. So we can come right here and have the top day right. We go all the way to the top. The top day is just this. This is the day for of that. So we actually got that selected. So we can go ahead and change the value, color of the value, and stuff like that. So we'll give it white and all that. So we go back, and this is what we're gonna have. We've not really have it kind of have an effect right on what we've done. So we can go back and make sure we select the color we want for it, and we make it bold, and we can decide to crank it up a little bit. And once we go back right now, let's see what we have. We have this, but we don't have to use this particular kind of color for this. Let us go ahead and choose a nice color that is not in the previous one we actually used. So we want to get the value we have right for this, the value of the top day we have. So right here, this is what we need for now. This is the profit we need there to actually have right here. So I can actually go ahead and move it down to this particular aspect. So I'm gonna have this one clicked and go right and copy the format right away from here for it. So we go and have the format, the filter right on it. We're gonna have it kind of respond to the filter. So right, I'm gonna click on 2019, and now you see the filter is actually responding the way it should be, and it's actually giving us what we really wanted as we've clicked the filter. So without we thinking about what we have right here, without we're looking at any of this, we'll definitely know what is our top day, all of that. So now beautiful, we've just gotten that done. Let us see the next step right now is for we to have what we have right here. So let me just go right to the developer aspect and click on insert, and what we want to insert right now is this combo box, right? So I'm just gonna insert my combo box, and it's gonna stay around here. I'm gonna drag it down all the way down to this particular part. So I'm gonna have my combo box to sit around right here. So I'm gonna right click on the combo box. So in case you're actually getting to see what is happening for what we want to change the format control, we gotta change the format. So here is the format, and how many do we want it to be? For now I'm gonna say 5. I'm not too sure how many items we're gonna have inside it, but I know we're gonna have some item inside it. So where do we want to have the item? So for now we don't really have the item ready, so we can click back and go to where we can have the item on. So we want to go to this analysis sheet right here to have our items right here. So now we have to copy this here and understand what we are trying to do. In case you're here for the first time, you don't know what's going on, this is where we created our pivot table from. So go right to the pivot table level, go to insert, and from insert a pivot table, and we can now go to existing worksheet, because it's the worksheet we want to actually use for that. and I'll definitely move it a little bit away from here and have it clicked, and I'm gonna have some kind of paste it right here. Destination reference is not valid. Okay, I'm gonna say okay, fine. So we just have to get it away from here, so we can click here now and it's gonna be valid. So if I click here and we have a new pivot table inserted, so this plus copying it is almost the same thing, and that is exactly what we really wanted to do previously before now. So now that is exactly what we've gotten. Okay, let us see what we want to have right here. First of all, I want to go down and actually select my ear and bring my ear all the way down to the row level. And once I've done that, I can actually make sure I have it formatted the way it should be. Now, if you look at it, we have the row label right here. So I'm just going to go to the top level right here, go hit on what, go hit on design and go to report layout and show on tabular form. Now you can now see it. So I don't want the grand total, I want to turn it off. So the grand total is gone. So now what I want to show is actually go to the top level. And I want to show my cost of goods. So I want to show revenue, I want to show profit, and I want to show quantity purchased and all that. So we have all these metrics right on it. So this is beautiful, and I can decide to show how many transactions we have. So you can bring any of the value right here, and it's going to default to count, and you have what you are looking for and all that. So now this is what we need to have, and we've just got it right here. So I'm just going to move down to this particular end where we have it. So here we have it beautifully, but right now something is not really working right. So I want to remove all the sum of away from it. Control H, we go ahead and actually say sum of. So sum of now is going to be taken away from here. So go back and actually say I'll replace all, and we have it replaced 4 of it. So now I'm going to have it closed right now, and when we go back we can have this. So now here I want to type in transaction. So just so say right here. So if we go back right now, what we can have is just go and okay, from this cost of goods sold down to profit, down to our profit, we want to make it some kind of currency. So I'm just going to put it on $sign. So if you want to do that, it's very simple and easy. Just go on your Control Shift and the $sign on your keyboard. You have this. To remove the extra decimal away from it, just come right here and have the decrease, and all of that, there you go. And all that. So I want to put this one on a normal number. So Control 1 will help you to get that done. So just come down right here and put it on number, and remove the extra decimal away from it, and have the separator right on it, and just go right here and click on OK. And there you have your proper formatting right on what should what. So now this is something we want to actually do. It's very important for you to take note of what's going on right here. We're about to do that. So I want to use a particular function called transpose to transpose what we have right here. Should we have something changed, it's just going to reflect to what we have just done right here. For we to use the transpose function, it's actually an array. So we want to count like 5 cells. So we have count of 5 cells right now. We want to have to transpose the header right and to be used for something very importantly. So I'm going to put on my equal to right here. Once I have my equal to right in there, I'm going to say transpose, and here the transpose function, which is an array. I'm going to close it, and after I might have closed it, you don't have to hit enter, but for you to hit your enter key, you have to press your Control plus Shift, now hit enter. Now you have it. So it's an array. We can actually go ahead and now you can see we can't delete anything from here. If you try to get anything away from here, this is what you have. You can't change part of an array. It's very handy. If you know how to use this, you definitely use this to create something that people cannot manipulate anyhow the way it is. So if you have to actually have it deleted, you must have highlighted it before you can actually truncate it from here and all that. So let's see why we actually have this right here. So right now I'm gonna go down to my dashboard. Now I can actually go right here. Now, okay, this is where I want to go right now to get the value right in here. So how do we do that? So you can right click right now and go to form control, and now we can define how many we want the drop down to be. So it's gonna be 5, and now we want to have the value inside here, and we can go back to this particular sheet, and now we just have to go get it. So it's sitting somewhere around here and it has been covered, so we can go get it. So here we go, we have just to highlight everything, and once we've done that, the next we're going to do right now is for we to link it. So we go back to the same sheet again and have linked to this particular top level right here, and that is exactly what you need to do. So right now we're good to go. So we can now scroll down to the top level right here, and now we can select to see what it is that we've just got done. So we have revenue. So let's see why we have this right here. What are we going to do with that? So let me just go ahead and show you what it is that we are going to do with all that we are doing now. So if I go back to this particular part here, So now if you look at what we have right here right now, so we don't have the values because they have, now we have plenty of values right here that if we actually go ahead and actually have the value right in it, we might not have it some kind of too, okay, I thought it's gonna be some kind of bulky. That was why I never had the value right in it. So now we can go ahead and have the value. That is gonna be cool. Now we can change the value from quantity to what, to transaction. How many transaction we have, it's gonna get changed and stuff like that. So now for we to actually get to see transaction, we have to remove it from what, we have to remove it from what, from the, I'm gonna go back right here, and we just have to go to the right sheet, and here we go. We just have to remove this from where is it taking it from. So here we go, we have to remove it. Instead of we having this right here, we want to have it on normal number. So we just have it like this, and we'll click OK, so that when we actually visualize what is now currency, is gonna sit right on it. So right now we can go forward, we can go for revenue, all of that. This is what we have to the right sheet we're actually using right now, and we go back to that particular sheet right on it. So here we go, we have to achieve what we've just seen right there. And how do we achieve that? It's very simple and easy to achieve. And what I'm going to do right now is just to copy this away from here. I'm going to copy it, Ctrl C, and I can still use the same transport to get it right here, so that we can link it, brother, not transport. So you can actually go ahead and say equal to this particular year right here, and we just click on OK. And what we can do right now, we can actually just drag it down, and that is exactly what we need to do. Just drag it down, and we have all the values. So no value here, we're just gonna get it away from here. So now we have to start to write our function to get what we really want away from there. And the first thing we're gonna do right now is to see what is being selected. Like, we want to see what is being selected from here. Now, how do we do that? Let us check what kind of function can be cool for this. I'm going to put on my equal to and use my index function. So my index is looking for the array, and the array is going to be this. Now, when I put my comma, it's looking for the row number. The row number is just going to be determined by this particular number, which is the selection we had selected or pre-selected from the dashboard. So if I have it closed right now and I hit enter, now it tells me that we've just selected revenue. Now revenue is the second, and if I go ahead and change my number to 5 right now and I hit enter, now we've just selected transaction. If I put it on for the first one, like number 1, now we've selected cost of goods. So, and now we want to get the value from for cost of goods, so right from this particular aspect, and have it right here. How do we do that? It's very simple and very easy to be created, and let's see how we can actually get that done. Now, what is the best formula to get this done? So if you had been following my tutorial before now, you will definitely know how I used to do this. I'm just going to use the offset function. So I'm going to type in the offset function, and now I'm going to commit this by hitting the tab key. I have it right here, that here. And after I might have done that, it's asking me, if I put on my comma right now, it's asking me for the rows. So I don't want to move any row up or down. So what do I need to have right here right now? I'm going to put in my 0 because I don't want to move. I just want to be stagnant at a place. So right now I put on my comma, it's asking for the column, and the column is going to be determined by what I have selected from this particular number right here. Now that is exactly what I have selected, so which means it's going to be pulling information from this cost of goods sold. Now we have just gotten this. If I have it closed now and hit enter, I have it, but something is going to be missing or messing around if I just go ahead and copy it down. What it is, we have this particular values being shown right here. So what is the problem? Why do we have this? Let me explain to you why we did have this right here. The problem is that we just go ahead and actually double click right now, it's moving away and it's going to cost of goods sold. So there is no way this is not a value, this is not a number and whatsoever. So we don't have to move away from here. We just have to make it some kind of absolute to actually be very static right there. So we just have to actually surround this with what? We want to surround this with just this $sign and all of that. So we'll make it static. So when we copy it down now, it's gonna look at a particular number. So now you can see it's actually reflecting down to that same number. That is exactly what we ought to have done. So now it's pulling information away from here for us. So if I go ahead and change to what? Change to right here. That is beautiful. This is exactly what we need to do to have what we wanted to create it and stuff like that. So now I can just go ahead and highlight this and go ahead and actually chat it and actually go back to my dashboard and have it right on my dashboard. Just go to insert and go to what? Go to recommended chart, and now this is the kind of chart we really want to use. I can just go ahead and say okay to it, and that is better. So now we can just go ahead and make it smaller and decide to move this to a dashboard. It's not a crime. So we just have to go down to the dashboard area, and here we go. This is the part we want to have it done. So we are right here, which can actually have it right to be here. I can double click on it right now to actually have it formatted the way I really wanted. So I need to go right here and bring this closer to here, this environment here, and now we can use it straight up. So go ahead and remove this and have this line being removed, and I can actually go ahead and actually get this particular a grid line off, so I don't want that as well. I don't want that. So for the transaction, well, I can just take the transaction off because I don't want to have the transaction right here. I want to have what has been selected right on it. So now I can go ahead and actually turn off the transaction away from here. We just bring it down a little bit. So now we can go ahead and actually decide to either remove this or have it, depends on what your client really wanted. So we go ahead and actually make sure we change this to something very cool. I'm gonna go with this color, so it's gonna actually display what I really wanted. So right now we need to actually add one more thing. I'm gonna go all the way down. So go all the way down right now, so to this particular patch. So I'm just gonna have to close this one. So now that we are here, let us see what we're gonna have right in here. I'm just gonna put on my equal to, open my double quotation. I'm gonna type in showing, close the double quotation by giving a gap before you have it closed, and the ampersand is gonna be here to have it concatenated, showing through that transaction. Oh, that is exactly what it is. I'm gonna type in my total here. So it's into that transaction. If I hit enter right now, this is what it's gonna give to me. So I want every single time I'm trying to actually visualize something here, or I selected any other filter I want to have it some kind of showing me what I have selected. So I can put it up here and go down to this particular aspect. I'm gonna have my equal to right inside here. I'm gonna come here and actually go ahead and have it selected. I'm gonna hit enter, and now we go back to what? We go back to our dashboard, and here we go. I can decide to actually go ahead and make sure I give it a very nice color. It's going to show up very well. So right, so now we have this, that is nice. So we can select and actually go ahead and go to this particular part here. Now we're showing transaction. So if we go ahead and show profit now, we can see it's still not showing profit. That is exactly what we're trying to have. Now we can just make this kind of smaller, all of that. So this is exactly what it's showing. So let me just give you a full screen and let you see what it is. Every single time we make a selection right here, we're gonna have there some kind of change, and the value right here is changing as well. We can decide to put the value at it. I'm gonna put the value right on it, and we want to have some kind of move this down a little bit so that it shouldn't go ahead and collide with what we have as the title. So now we can go ahead and actually make sure we go ahead and put this right on it, and here we go. We're gonna have a separator, right? So go to home, you are on home, and we can have it from here. So if we want to have a separator right on it right now, we just have to come right here and select this, and once we have this selected, I can just say Ctrl+1, and I'm gonna have it right on it. So number, and from number I'm just going to type this. I'm going to actually remove that and actually make sure it's on separator. So now if I go back right now, this is what I'm going to have. Can you see that right now? And up there, so if I select what cost of goods sold, I see cost of goods sold up there. So now I want to give you the remaining parts and assignment to go through go through the one you have downloaded, and you can complete that because we actually created almost 90 right now, and include every single thing we have right here, and actually explore more on our channel, because we are trying to actually give you some kind of cool way to create dashboard every single time and all of that. So now if you enjoy our dashboard and you had not been a subscriber right on our channel, all you just have to do is just for you to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and let us know what you feel about our work right here on this channel. And also make sure you actually share this out to social media and let other people catch us right on this channel. I look forward to give you more new content. Very seriously, I look forward to giving you more new content every single time. So more new content to come this very week we are into right now in Power BI, Excel, and we're gonna be doing a lot of Power BI this time around. So now stay tuned. You just have to subscribe, hit that little bell right there to get notification every single time we actually upload a new content, all of that. And never forget to actually share this to your friends, your family, and your co-workers at the office, just to let them know that we have a very nice, we have a nice channel like this that's giving us what it is that you really wanted. So now if you go through the one you have downloaded, you will definitely know how to solve this problem we are having right here, because when we click on this particular January right on this particular one right here, we'll have what we have. We're gonna have some kind of error right on it, and this error is something you can solve, and I've taught you how to solve errors. So solve this error is your assignment, and if you don't know how to solve it, let me know in the comment section, because I just want to live with some challenges, all of that. So now on this particular one right here, we have everything correct, no problem, no errors or nothing. We are just not going to encounter any error. So we have gotten the error being cleared and all of that. That is exactly what I want you to know how to think about. So thank you guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're still watching to this end, I want to say thank you. Thanks a lot. So stay blessed, stay out of trouble, and actually always obey every protocol of COVID-19 just to stay clean of any virus. Good day.